What's up, everyone? We're talking Krypton episode 7 transformations, where Brainiac is creepier than ever. He wants everyone to be the instruments of his will. No, thank you. We have that to talk about. We have this new ragtag team alliance and Daron being snakier than ever, so don't go away.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Woo! Oh, I'm pumped now.
Fly away!
Wait, you gotta move my cape.
What's the Superman dance that you made up?
It's like this.
That's the ragtag team alliance I want to be a part of. What's up, you guys?
Yo.
Craziest episode of the season. Oh my god, I don't even know, like, I had to think about how to start this episode because Candace and I were talking about there was so much. So just quick intros, you guys. I'm Steph Sabraw. We are here to talk about episode 7 transformations, and to my left we have Anthony.
Yes, my name is Anthony. I'm drinking so much water because it's so lit up in here that I'm thirsty.
And our very own...
I don't know how to follow that. My name is Candace Cruz. I'm just here. I'm just glad to be back.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I know. I'm
Yeah.
back.
You're on a special
here.
assignment?
I'm
We
here. I
miss
was on a
Candace.
special assignment. A couple, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was fun.
So in this episode, we're going to be breaking down Voice of Rao, aka Brainiac, and Daron's new snake plan with him, the Ragtag Alliance, and moving forward, what's going to happen with them, and then the whole destruction of Nyssa and Daron's relationship. And then we'll be hitting Character Corner.
Yeah.
We're
going to be doing Doomsday today.
Yes!
Yeah.
Doomsday!
So-
And then we'll have some predictions.
Oh, so many.
Wrap it
predictions.
up. But what's your guys' overall thoughts? You know mine right now. What's yours of this episode?
Oh my god.
I'm
What's
overwhelmed.
happening?
I'm literally just overwhelmed with like all this information, like everything. But I loved that it was such a quick episode. I know it was the same length, but like it was just everything was firing on every end. And I felt like, I don't know, I'm excited to see this team take over.
There's
Yes.
so much.
yeah.
We lost Deb. A ball of fire, Brainiac on fire. We have Daron Brainiac relate like a kinship happening, an alliance happening. We have finally our ragtag team that I've been wanting to see set in stone.
True.
We know who they're playing with, and then Adam Strange just doing a 180.
Yeah,
like
what?
What is
I know, I
happening
didn't
on
even
this
bring that
show?
up. Because here's my problem with this episode, and this is a positive. I write down the most important things that are happening in the episode.
Right.
I kid you not, I have 2 pages of just like annotated notes of what's happening because I feel like everything was
So
important.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. So let's just get into kind of how the episode introed, where Jana's running out. This is where
Right.
Brainiac just showed who he is, and
That
then
slow-mo shot.
crazy.
Oh, so cool.
So good.
She continues to blow my mind with her acting.
So you can assume, yeah, it's safe to assume she was the only survivor.
yes,
You saw her be like, oh no, thank you, not today, Brainiac tentacle. She's like, oh, Dab couldn't have done that, whatever.
Sidestep right there.
Yeah, get out of here.
Well, thank God. I'd be so pissed if she was gone too.
Yeah.
So then Daron starts to talk to Voice of Rao, who he still thinks was Voice of Rao,
yes,
and
yes.
they have this really cool kind of conversation where we get to see more of why Daron is the way he is. His family was ripped from him. They were actually followers of they were Synthonites, or lived with the Synthonites. And he realizes that he can't lie to Brainiac because Brainiac knows everything, and sells out everyone, says there's going to be a public execution, and then he says he bargains by saying he'll handle Nyssa.
Right.
He is the creepiest, slickest, slyest, evil. And to think that I used to have a soft spot for him and think that there was like a reason, or maybe he was going to like have some redeeming quality about himself. No.
I
kept hoping for him.
I held my breath on him
Yeah.
too, to see what's good, you know?
Yeah.
I had respect from the last episode, but because he he put his cards down on the table in front
Right.
of Jana, and I thought it was really noble of him. And now I'm just like, okay,
He's a coward.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
to the utmost, like
Right.
the
well,
worst.
He's not a coward. He just knows what he wants for the city of Candor, and like
But this
Brainiac's
isn't-
talking his language. Like he's speaking his language. Like you
Is he, though?
You are what I want for this city.
He's speaking
He's
the language
smart.
of death or life.
He wants to preserve the way of the city, but like without the voice of Rao.
Well,
and this is what he's getting through Brainiac.
Candace and I have some disagreements, but what I do
Yes.
agree with you is on we do get to see more of Brainiac's kind of like behind the scenes work, how he does things.
Yeah.
He says
Wait, what's his disagreement?
freedom. We just don't have. I don't have any sympathy for Darren. I
None.
think
No,
he's
I'm not saying I don't have sympathy for
And
him,
I
but
also
I get
don't
like
think
what's
that
going
he's
on.
siding with Brainiac because he believes in what he's doing. I think
No.
he sides with him so he can stay alive.
100%.
He literally says that verbatim himself in this episode too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Brainiac says freedom from your concerns and your attachments. And then, are you ready to serve? Are you ready to be the instruments of my will? And then he says there is no voice of Rao, only the agent of Brainiac. So he's really just doesn't care anymore. He's letting people know what's happening within, other than the rank list, which we'll get to. I did not think it's weird to have a villain that's so planned out and methodical, and like what I love about the show, it's not just like, oh, like he has all these powers and boom, it happens. It's like realistic to kind of how someone with his powers would take over a society. Do you guys like what Brainiac is? Do you like his character right now, and do you like what he's doing with the show?
Yeah, he's a mastermind. I kind of. It's hard to tell if this is all really planned out because we never really had a semblance or like some sort of what do you call a reference as to what his actual plan was. But if this was part of his plan all along, then my God, he's pulling it off.
Yeah, that's what I'm confused about is how much does he know?
Yeah.
Like when Darren was like, this is the last day of the Nova cycle, you need to make an appearance.
He didn't know that.
How much of the culture do you think he knows? Because we later see what he ends up doing. Like, did you think that you think he didn't know at all? He's just like, whatever, let's do this.
I'm just saying there's a possibility that he didn't know. There's a possibility that this is not all planned out and some of it is coming along together.
Yeah.
Like just as is.
I think he's a mastermind in the sense of yes, because it's not all completely planned out, but he always makes whatever the situation work for him.
Yeah.
He can manipulate the situation in whatever way.
Easily.
And make it viable for his ultimate plan. So the fact that he's that intellectual that he can make any strategic move work in his favor.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah.
but I agree. I think that this is one of the most amazing villains that I've ever seen because it is one of those that is very logical. It's not just, oh, I'm an evil villain. It's someone that has thoughts and does the long in game versus just like blowing everything up. He's literally using the people that he's trying to conquer as his own chess pieces in his game.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
What I do also, I mean, obviously, I think he's repulsive and disgusting
Right.
what he does, but he does bring attention to a good point where people in this society didn't question anything about their religion, they didn't question anything about their rule, they didn't question anything about their status, and that's part of the reason why they were where they are. But on the discussion of Darren using everything to his advantage, we see him say, let me handle Nyssa, and then he ends up putting her on notice for treason and was going to be executed. He goes into her room, and first off, let me just talk about Nyssa's outfit for a second. Because that was some heat.
She's gorgeous. Like, hello.
Oh, Father, I know what you're going to do.
I'm just casually waiting in my apartment looking fabulous. Thank you.
The moment she looks slowly, I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah.
There's something up here.
Yes.
No one turns that slow.
She was the master chess player this time.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that
yeah.
was so cool to see her really plan out and use his own lessons, which she said, never trust anyone against him. Were you guys expecting that? Because I wasn't.
No.
Yeah.
You were expecting it?
No.
Oh, okay. I was
I
like, wait a
agree with
second.
you. I didn't expect that at all. Like, I thought he actually cared for his daughter, but it turns out he just doesn't care for anybody, really. Yeah.
Maybe this is a stretch. Maybe he cares for her so much that he doesn't want her to die in a public execution. He would rather do it.
That's what he's
Himself.
telling himself.
Sure.
Exactly.
No,
I know.
yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying that, like, that's the only viable reason I could see any parent ever thinking.
But I think
that.
the show itself hasn't really showed us any sort of like reference points to indicate that he's actually thinking any of those thoughts, though.
True.
Like within what the show has showed us, I haven't seen any of that.
Yeah.
We do get some interesting when they're talking, and that's such a heated moment. So obviously things are gonna come out. He says, "You're my favorite," and then she says something about sisters later or
Oh
siblings.
yeah, she has a bunch of
Exactly.
siblings, yeah.
A
So
ton.
if they
haven't seen
dip
any
that
of
in,
them.
we're gonna get more information on that. But that's interesting. Like, where the heck are they?
Right?
And the fact that she stayed back
Yeah.
and did all of this. And I loved her speech to her dad, because I think all of us have had some type of like conflict with our parents to where we almost feel like we're trying to prove ourselves. And to see her like voice that out so clearly and efficiently, and to just be like, I'm an adult now, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Yes, girl.
And then in the background of this scene that kind of brings everything together, we have Seg, Lyta, and General Zod. And General Zod is still injured from getting shot. They're trying to find him. There was a really cool scene where Seg played drunk so that the Sagittari didn't notice him.
Yeah.
And they were able to leave. And then Seg finds out that Nyssa is actually going to be executed for treason.
Right.
So he goes to, and then ends up colliding at the perfect time when Nyssa just has a knife to her dad's
Darren,
throat.
yeah.
They have this conversation, and that was another like there was a lot of great parts where Seg was like, "You always have a choice," and he's kind of
I
like,
wanted
you
to
can
talk
see
about
that
that too.
Superman.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Yeah, how he says, I didn't have a choice, and Seg goes, you always had a choice. You always have a choice, you just made the wrong one. And I was just like, damn. I thought that's cool. And also like the way how like Seg works too, and like in his mind. I was like, no, there's always a choice. You just got to make the right one. Yeah.
And then Darren swindles his way into making them think that they still
my
needed him,
God.
which I guess they did.
Dirty
they did.
little bastard. I
Yes.
swear to God.
Yeah.
That's, you just, that revitalized like everything. Like I wasn't hating on him. Now I'm just like, oh yeah, F that dude.
I know. I was
forgot
like, okay,
about
he
that.
could
Yeah.
be useful.
What a piece of...
Could be.
But realistically, Brainiac would always know if he was playing him. And the only thing he would have been useful for was he was right that if he was shot, they would hear it and they would come in. He ends up setting them up, getting them in, and you see Nyssa just turn into a ninja in a matter of
Yeah, when did all of this happen? I'm like, are you just born with this innate like
No, she
kick-ass
gives
ability, or like
background.
were you trained?
Let's
she
talk
learned-
about her background,
she
you
Because
guys.
I'm like,
She
I
learned-
just see her looking pretty and like professional and
Right.
political. I don't ever see her being like, ha-cha.
No, well, she flips sides on many things now that we find out.
So I believe she said that she learned from her previous girlfriend.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
who was a fighter and taught her. So clearly, she's so good. And then during that
Wait.
scene, what
Oh wait, what were we gonna say? Sorry.
about Seg?
Well, I wanted to talk about
Yeah.
like I love how like when she says that, there's like a weird brief like moment of silence, right? Like after she says that part, and then Seg's like, yeah, okay, all right, so we're done. Like, you know, and then like I think like a response is like someone would be like, she had a girlfriend before, like kind
But
of thing.
like Adam Strange's tweet that we read, this
Right,
show is supposed
exactly.
to defy sex and like
Exactly.
sexual-
I'm just saying, like, I'm sure there's people out there who just like had
Yeah.
that same exact
I had to
reaction,
pause.
right?
I
was
even
like-
had to pause again when you said that because I completely forgot about
that.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
exactly.
slipped it in.
I was just
Yeah,
like,
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
cool.
like, wait, what?
She
so
slips
casual.
it in, and he's like, all right. Yeah.
I think Seg was silent a little bit because there is a kind of I think because he knows that she likes him.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, she's done a lot for him already in terms of Lyta. So I would be kind of like, so is it both
Yeah.
or do you just like me?
Well, I think on top of it, the lines are blurred because are they still committed to one another and they have a child?
Yeah.
I
they
So,
are.
I mean,
So-
regardless, it's always going to be that weird, like,
Also, like,
blurredness
Nyssa,
between them.
Yeah, Nissa's gotten so many brownie points with Seg. First off, he gave him back. She gave him back the urn of his parents.
Oh.
And one of the biggest one was that, and it's mentioned in this episode that Nyssa was able to save Lyta when no one else was willing. And he pretty much goes, when Lyta tells him why you want to save her, he looks at her and says, when I asked, she was willing to save yours.
Yeah.
Like, why are you willing to save her life? When I've asked, she was willing to save yours. And she was like the only homie that he had in his corner to save Lyta. And I think that's something that's very intimate about their whole relationship and to why he can start seeing an attraction towards Nyssa because Nyssa helps save one of the things that he truly loves, which is Lyta. And that's something super intimate where you're like, you have this girl who, you know, although they're supposed to be in a relationship, there's a part of her that I can confidently say that she Nyssa loves Seg enough to help him save his loved one. And I think
also
it's
Nissa's like a
beautiful.
fully formed character who can think for herself.
Yeah, once she got that knife to Daron, I was like, ooh, baby.
No,
That's a great
just
point, though.
Yeah.
all of the chats blowing up about Nyssa's sisters, and then the fact that Nyssa's ex wasn't faithful to her. So like there's just a bunch of conversation going on about like Nyssa's background and everything, because we've gotten little tidbits here and there, like little nuggets about her. So I think she's, like you said, a fully formed character that we're finally seeing a lot more of, and her reaching her full potential. Yeah.
Because obviously there's a lot of questions that it's just her and her dad here that are just running stuff in Krypton.
Exactly.
So hopefully we get to see more of that. And that...
Yeah, she's coming into her own character right now. And I can't wait to see what she has, like how resourceful is she, you know?
And then before we get into the combination of our newfound ragtag team, on the flip side of this situation, when Seg left to go get Nyssa, Lyta ran into Dev. And Dev, there was this point where he
Hello,
talked
Mr. Covered Up.
Yes, but remember when she said I love you, there was the but?
Yeah.
And there was the but.
There
And
was
she
a
didn't
but.
say
Confirmed.
but.
A
Yeah,
big but.
exactly. There's a ...
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, so, and I thought, now it makes sense knowing what he was under, but he was like, handled the rejection so well. I'm like, that's not male. Like, many men don't handle that sort of rejection well, you know? And instead he's like, thank you for caring enough to lie.
Yeah.
Let's go get your mom. I was like,
And I was like,
wow.
hold up. So he's covered up.
You thought this beforehand?
No, I was like, dude, he's totally a freaking Brainiac.
Really?
I knew right away.
Really?
First off, he's covered up. Second off, like, wait.
But he's
no
hiding.
idea.
No. He's covered up, yes. But, like, there's a point where he and Lyta are alone, and he's still covered up. Wouldn't you be in front of the person you love? Wouldn't you be all revealed? Like, you're not hiding in front of her.
But you don't know
he
how
was
long
hiding in front of
headpieces
her.
take to put on. It's a
This is true.
process.
It's fashion. Okay.
Sure. That being said, at the same time,
And
what
you're
you
still running away. You don't want people to know who you are.
Exhibit B, when he said what you just said, careful enough, you love me enough to lie, whatever. How does he know he's lying? She's lying. Like that, and he's so confident in the way that he says
Well, she
that he
kind of
knows that
admitted
she's
it.
lying.
Yeah, she did confirm it.
But then
Whatever. I just knew. I knew he
you're
was a
smart for
Brainiac.
realizing it, because when you take a step back and you realize that he's an agent of Brainiac now, the answer was so logical.
Yeah.
And that is not how humans really experience emotion.
And he did exactly what he wanted her to do for him. Take me to where Jana is.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was like, oh, perfect. She's going to fall into his trap right away. And he did. And I was like, ooh, baby.
But can we talk about the, like, before all of that, the sweet little moment that they did have?
It was.
I'm
Hey,
holding
Devniak.
on to it, okay?
I know. Honestly, I had
Bye-bye,
hopes for
Devniak.
their relationship,
No,
and
no,
I
no,
felt like
no.
last episode, Dev really won my heart over, and now you're singing him away.
Hey, Devin.
Oh,
Go
no,
on.
I loved the like romantic element of it, and I do think that there are conversations that do happen like this in real life, when maybe not as like okay with the rejection.
Never.
But these conversations do happen with adults whenever they're like, listen, like you can love someone and them not love you back in the same way, but you care about them so much that you still want them in your life.
Yeah. It's
So,
called the
like-
friend zone.
True. But Dev was okay with
Almost
that.
as
Yes,
worse as a
I
phantom
agree.
zone.
She was okay, or he was okay with that.
Women love when men can handle rejection well. Just so you know, you're
True.
probably like more likely to get a date in the first place if you handle
Exactly.
rejection well.
Guys, it's a numbers game.
Worst advice ever.
Romantic advice from the Krypton panel here.
Yeah, I do
Numbers
have to
game,
say,
guys.
don't listen to a guy
There's
about
plenty of fish out there.
advice for women. So then she gets him up to the mountain, and that's when we find out that he didn't make it out alive. He just cut straight to the chase, and he was like, Brainiac has showed me more than ever. Like,
Yeah,
I've
which
cut
I-
my emotions and my connections, and now I'm gonna live forever. All this creepy stuff.
And I found that a little weird because, like, he still had a resemblance of his own person. Which what I thought when Brainiac took over, they all became Brainiac. Nah, not like Devniak, whatever he is, like at that moment in time.
But it's
whatever.
What is it? A symbiotic relationship, correct? Is
Yeah,
that
it's a
correct?
parasite.
Parasite. So you still have some elements of yourself in there.
And if Brainiac's
Okay.
such a complex character, I wouldn't doubt that he can control the amount of his influence on a person and vice versa.
Plus,
But then
he's also
just look at
spread
what
out
happened
that far.
with Rom.
But
Yes,
he
Rob.
took over her.
Completely.
And this is not him taking over Dev and like that
These
whole
are,
like
like,
military that
Elements.
he like tentacled.
He took over the voice of Rao.
You guys tell us what you think. I don't know much about the devices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably rules to it. I'm
I'm
sure.
sure.
I'm sure, yeah, it's just like it's a little wonky. But
Yeah.
anyways, sorry.
So
Getting
then
bogged down in
he
the
says
details.
she basically baits him and is like, well, what if we don't go over to the other side? And he's like, well, I'll have to kill you.
Reveal forehead.
Forehead reveal. Then Jana tries to kill him, but now he has Brainiac's abilities
Yeah,
too.
just that super run he does.
He dodges that, but then
Mr. Smith.
Lyta has to come in and Anakin Skywalker his arm.
No, she shoots it off.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
It's
Full
all
on like the
that.
Yeah.
whole thing. But my thought was I'm like, oh, maybe this will like take it out of him and he'll be back to normal and he'll just live without an arm.
Yeah.
It killed him.
Question:
I was
is
thinking, yeah.
he dead
Nah,
for sure?
Nah, first off,
You can live without an arm.
and first off, like who knows how many parts of his body is already like Brainiac filled. Second off, he's in the cold, in the Outlands.
Oh, that's true.
They can preserve his body easily.
Lyta, what are you doing? You blow up that man.
You blow up the arm, he's down, getting incapacitated, and aim for the head, and then just
Yeah,
might
you
as well just blow him to smithereens.
You go for the head
Go
shot.
for the shot.
Yeah.
Go for the head.
I don't care if you loved him.
Yeah. Show him how much you love him by not seeing him again. Not giving him a chance to come back.
Yeah,
Come back.
Come back.
Come back.
I know, I rolled my tongue back today.
Wow, I like wasn't sure. I thought he would come back, but now that you guys think that too,
No, he's definitely
coming
come back.
And
And
that's
it's a superhero show. They all come back. You probably have like
Wow.
a crazy robotic like
Yeah.
brain.
Oh, our tentacle.
I'll be back.
We'll have one
Or
tentacle
just
thing.
like a tentacle, yeah, and then now he's like fully Devniac.
creepy. So then we get this another beautiful scene with Jana and Lyta, and their relationship is just so complex and beautiful. And finally, Jana tells her, "Yeah, of course I didn't do this on my own. It was to save your life." And
Yeah.
it's just like this crazy scene between them.
I like that little line Jaina drops. It was a choice between honor and her. Oh yeah, I wrote it in my own voice. But she said something along the line.
Yeah.
A choice between my honor and my only daughter, and I chose you.
And I would do
And
it
I-
again,
Yes!
she said.
And I was like, oh,
Yes, Mama.
you're
I
not
literally
a
teared
heartless
out.
mother.
I was
Thank
like,
you so much.
Mama. Mom is
Right?
here.
I thought she was still heartless. I legit thought she was still so heartless because when
I want that on a recording. Mama.
oh god. Mama, you do love me. No, it was weird because like when Dev shows up, Jaina goes straight to Dev first. Did you notice that? Where like when Dev and Lyta show up, Jaina's like, when they find Jaina's like, Dev, I'm glad to see you made it out.
But
oh, hey, daughter.
I wonder if that's because she realizes, like, she saw him get taken back.
Yeah. Ooh,
She already
okay.
instinctively, as a soldier and a commander,
That's a good point.
realizes that he's a bigger threat. He's already been compromised, and she has not.
Yeah, that's it.
Regardless, so she was already out of the picture when all this happened. And you see, like, if we do the flashback, she was in the shot when all of this was happening, when they were getting taken.
Yeah.
So
True.
she obviously knows something's up.
Yeah, she doesn't know exactly what
Right.
happened to them, but I do think you're right. Like, also just her being the leader, her being the one who made him do this, because he wouldn't have on his own.
Right.
She obviously had to check on him first. I understood that, but I do. It is weird that her daughter was right there. So Jaina and Lyta come back and meet up with the rest of the crew, and this is a crazy scene between General Zod, Jaina, and Lyta, because Jaina knows General Zod as Black Zero correspondent, so she's like, you're not my grandson. Like,
Right.
you've just been killing all these Kryptonians, and they're like, well, you would know best, you're Zod, this is for the better good. And then the biggest question,
Who's
is
your
the
daddy? Who's your daddy?
Who's the daddy?
I say mama, you say who's daddy. Got a family dynamic going on here.
There's mommy issues going on and daddy issues.
Jana is like the master of subtleties.
Yeah.
Being subtle about things.
daddy?
Who's your father?
Okay, so is it Seg?
That would be twisted little like.
He was a soldier that was killed in the battle for Kandor. That's what he says.
But also, we know that General Zod is a trickster. He's a manipulator.
Yes.
Is he though? Is this rendition of Zod
You
a
see his
trickster?
eyes moving like, I don't know if I
You
should
don't
tell the
trust his.
truth. I
You don't
should.
oh, you don't trust his eyes, Miss Eye Expert over here. Did you notice anything? Wanted to speak on that?
Wait, rewind a little bit.
When they ask him who's your daddy, and
Yes.
his eyes go like back. He was like, "You really want to know?" And then his eyes started shifting, like, "Oh shoot, I shouldn't tell them."
Well, yeah. Then I mean, obviously he's hiding something. I just don't know if it's actually Seg.
Yeah.
What if it's Dev comes back? No, that's stretching
I
it.
just,
That's
yeah, I
a
thought
little
it was
stretch.
Dev, but I don't think it is Dev because he's
Hey,
dead now.
Seg could have 2 babies.
I mean, he could easily.
Nyssa, Seg and Nyssa's Vex lineage would be eventual Superman.
Oh my god.
And then and then Lyta and Seg will be eventually Drew Zod.
But isn't he like a huge component within like Superman's storyline as well? So wouldn't that be odd if that was like
In some reason,
that's incest of sorts, isn't it? Or like brother against brother, or like
yeah, it's more of like
or
a
like a
cousin against cousin kind of thing.
would it be
Or brother- a
No, it would be
half-brother.
uncle versus
Yeah,
nephew.
I believe I touched on it last week. I just can't remember.
That's
It was
it's a weird like
a
if
decade
it
ago.
is actually Seg's son, then it would be like
All
a,
right, chat.
Let
Tell
us
us if Drew. Tell us if Drew Zod and Superman are ever related in any canons of the DC universe. Go,
Please.
challenge.
Before we get into my personal favorite scene of this episode in particular, I want to tell you guys about something good, you guys. Do you
Something
want to have
great.
fun, learn, and grow in all areas of your life?
yes.
Always.
Well, I've got the podcast for you. Conversations with Maria Menounos podcast edition is hosted by our AfterBuzz TV founder and drops every Friday on iTunes. It features celebrity and influencer interviews along with secrets and tips on how to be better in all aspects of your life, from health and wellness to career, relationships, finances, and more. Let our Maria be the big sister for you. Just go to iTunes and subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos. And when you do, let her know that the Krypton panel sent you there.
Yes.
Okay,
We
you
did
guys.
it.
The favorite scene I was talking about is when Lyta, Nyssa and Seg escape. And she tries to do this like the drunk rendition where she didn't get caught by the Sagittari by kissing him, which was a really slick move on her part.
I mean, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. But they still do it in broad daylight.
Yeah.
And it's like not covered up at all. Just saying.
And that's what I like
That
how
was
the
really
show
bad in my
made it.
opinion.
I know, but the show capitalized in a logical way because they were caught. And then they're right when they're backed up in a situation, Suggs starts laughing, and he's like, "Why are you laughing?" And he's like, "Because you're about to get punched in the face." And then Lyta and Jana come to save the day. And then
cool.
my favorite line comes, you guys. Lyta punches him.
yes.
Seg is all hot and bothered, and he goes, "You'll never be more beautiful than you are in this moment."
Attractive.
Oh yeah, attractive.
Oh, attractive.
Yes,
This is
okay,
all-
sorry,
same
sorry,
difference.
sorry. Thank you. But
I
what?
wanted him to say sexy
Nyssa all
rather
right.
than attractive. Like, let's be real here. Come on.
In front of Nyssa.
Right, and
Yes.
she's like,
Love triangle.
Yes. Oh my gosh. What do you think Nyssa's emotions are with Seg?
I think she like has a soft spot for him. Obviously, like she cares about him, whether or not she loves him the way that Seg and Lyta have. Like she knows they're having a child together. She has to care about him if she's done like all of this for him.
Yeah.
There's some type of quality within him that she's attracted to or wanting to like.
I don't blame you, Nyssa.
I mean, look at him. Come on. I got a crush on him. Like, let's go. I mean, I understand. I just, I don't know to what extent she cares about
yeah.
him
Here's like me thinking about it. These are just thoughts coming out right now. So pretty much Nyssa. So the only person she really had apart from Seg was her father. Boom, betrayed. So now she only has Seg to really confide in and really find comfort in. apart from everyone else in our little ragtag team, she only has one growing relationship with Seg. So there's definitely some sort of likeness to Seg, whether it be out of choice or out of like needing to have it, you know, in order to survive. But there's definitely something there that's she's definitely attracted to him. And even if it is out of choice, it's still gonna grow because she's the closest to him.
And 2 seconds ago, they were making out on the wall.
Yeah.
So,
Out of necessity.
You know, well, you never know. It may have not been necessity
That was
for
also
her.
such a. That plan was not the smartest, Nyssa.
No.
I give you kudos for the knife to the throat, but that plan. Dude, like, look at where you're
was
at.
just split thinking.
Do you see anywhere else, like, any other civilians around? Like, they're gonna notice two people making out.
It's a time in Krypton where romantics is happening every day. Like, it's too serious right now.
I've never seen anyone else kiss except for, like,
No,
the main
and then
characters.
we saw one scene where we know that, like, Lyta and Seg are
yeah.
together.
But that's before
That's
things
it.
started really happening
Right.
bad. And then on the flip side, Lyta and Jana really oppose Nyssa and her position with them now. And Seg again stands up for her,
Defends her,
which I
yeah.
really respect the way that he just does things. I feel like in terms of decision making, he's by far the best. Like he looks at the full picture, looks at people's personal decisions and kind of like their background, what made them be that way. And then they agreed to work together because it's the only way to survive. And now we have our ragtag team.
Yeah,
and
baby.
What do you? I thought that their plan sounded so good. You
No,
know?
it was horrid.
You thought?
It was so bad. Are you kidding me right now?
But
That's-
like it was like
Let's go over the plan and how I put it into words.
If people didn't believe, all of Krypton thought that they're the only life around, and then all of a sudden they've a green man
floating in a ball of fire.
This is a gist of Seg's plan. All right, so let's shoot him in front of everyone at the celebration to reveal to the people that he's an alien. The people, assuming that the people will rise up against him.
But what if they think that that's a bigger power? Like, if he's an alien, he looks like a god. Maybe they think that he's a god and then follow him.
Yeah,
regardless.
first off,
Yeah,
no one's ever
that's
seen the face of Rao, so he can be anything and they'll still freaking bow down to him, like, nonetheless, kiss his feet, kiss his ring. Like, that was just such a dumb plan to me. I was like, dude, what are you doing?
Leave and go get the rest of the other people to bond together. You may not get a big team, but at least, like, get...
that was Jana's plan.
Yeah. Which is the smartest.
Although there was an occasion when the plan was happening where I saw how it could have worked, and this is how I thought it could have worked. So it says I wrote the plan is sort of backfired, but I'm like they should have fired him still.
Yeah.
Seg should not have said no. Wait, because there's a moment right
When the
before,
servant
like if you
comes
think about it, they're like 1 on 3, 1, 2, and then the servant's like, wait, this guy's an alien creature thing. And then right after that, it would have been 3 among the confusion. So they call it out. This is an alien creature. Everyone's like, huh? And then before any reaction, boom, the shots come in. Boom, it's revealed. He is an alien creature. Chaos ensues. Everyone runs. But they're not going to be controlled by Brainiac. They're not going to fall under his will. They're going to run and chaos will ensue. But they're going to know that is not human. That is a creature. This is something wrong. They should have shot still after that reveal. But Seg's like, wait.
You should become the new commander.
Right,
'Cause I'm with your plan.
Because
I agree.
It would have caused chaos and confusion, and that's kind of what needed to happen. On top of that, add an alien creature that's green among the chaos and confusion. Yeah, people would have backed him up then. They'd be like, oh no, this is so wrong. Let's get out of here. People would have ran to the hills.
And plus, you know that they're going to kill the other girl anyway for stepping up regardless. So you might as well have just, like, shot and, like, avoided her.
Oh yeah, bye Felicia. She's
Right,
done.
she done.
She's done. Yeah.
It was so creepy what he said to the people, and
like bringing back that point, like you said, manipulated his
Yeah.
But
supposedly in the corner. It's like nah.
But really, if you think about it, though, that's the beauty of him as a villain is that if you really look at the speech that he made, it almost had me convinced.
It was poetic.
And if you really think about some of our greatest evil leaders that have happened within history, they are some of the most poetic speakers and motivators. So in order to be a good evil leader, you have to motivate people.
Yeah.
And you have to figure out what they're faithful to.
And
he realizes like exactly, and the fact that they are among the rankless, they have no money, they have no food, they have nothing. Like, what do they have to lose?
Yeah.
Like, they literally have nothing. So go for the weaker and be like, I will build you up, which is what typically most political people will say. Take the lower people and bring them up. Those are all false promises, but they're of course gonna go behind him.
Totally.
And he's in a ball of fire. I would listen to him too. You know?
I'd be like, okay, I'm going to listen to him right now, but I'm going to go home and think about this.
But you don't really have the opportunity to think. But yes, I would too. I'd be like, let me ponder.
Yeah,
on
they
this.
don't, though. And I've read some criticism on various blogs about.
Sorry, I'm like replying as you.
No, go for it.
only-
Hey guys, it's not me in the chat.
Yeah, that whole alien spiel is me. Sorry.
That's all him.
They said that they're all
What?
aliens. No, this one person in the chat said that they're all aliens in the show, but I'm like, alien is subjective to the beings on that planet.
Oh, yeah.
So like the only alien on Krypton is really Adam Strange because he's human.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Boom.
This, you guys, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you like this video if you like it, and comment below, because after the chat will be erased and we'll want to still be able to talk to you and see what you have to say.
Also, leave us 5-star review on our iTunes page, because if you do, you'll be entered to win the hat that we got Sean Sipo's to autograph, and it's the Detroit hat that Adam Strange wears in the first couple episodes.
Awesome.
So check that out, y'all.
Also, speaking of Adam Strange, did we miss the whole conversation?
Oh, that's right.
No, we can talk. We were going to talk about Adam Strange. I was just like waiting for you to say what you have to
okay,
say.
good. I was
Okay.
just like, are we
What
not
do
going to
you-
address it?
Give us
Well, I
your
forgot.
thoughts.
Oh, okay,
my
great.
God.
I'm like,
I forgot about this.
you forgot about that crucial element. Like, talk about a master manipulator too. This whole thing, I mean, granted, I don't know the full canon of everything.
Right.
But for that blew my mind that he literally just twisted all of it at the end.
Yeah, I'm really sad.
Like, I thought this entire time that he was literally being there to be the confidant and to make all this happen. Now his mind is, was that his whole plan?
Yeah, exactly.
And then all of a sudden he twisted and realized that he wanted to be more powerful because now Superman's not going to exist. Might as well go back and fulfill the absence of Superman.
That's why I'm kind of like a little annoyed, because like there was never like ever like a semblance of this maliciousness to the character of Adam Strange.
I wonder if
Like
it
they never
literally
like
came up
hinted.
random.
They never hinted like how he could turn out to be. Like that whole like 180 was just so out of the blue, like something that just happened so fast, and I'm just like, where is this coming from?
I'm confused on his angle, and I can't tell because we know Adam Strange's character is kind of like sassy and has these funny comments, and we thought that he would confide in Val-El and have like
Right?
build this relationship, but then he was like really rude. Actually,
Yeah, he just deleted
Right.
the whole conversation.
told him like you're not alive.
Could this?
He knows.
The only thing I could think of was like, this is probably his plan B. Like if he was like, I'm gonna try and side with them, and I'm gonna do my best, and if that doesn't work, I head to plan B. And then he just always had it in his back pocket. Maybe he didn't want to play that hand yet until it really came crashing down. And then once like the fallout with Seg, it happened. But on top of that, he was still kind of like, I don't know what to do. And then he gets his Zeta beam fixed, and now he's like, all right, time to go to plan B. I can do this and then go back home and duck out. But I don't know, because in that whole like talk that he has with Val, just didn't even matter, because he's like, I'm just gonna go kill him. Like, what? Like, he's contemplating being a hero, and this is not what a hero does.
Maybe he's an opportunist. And hear me out. Maybe we were talking about Brainiac not really knowing the plan and fulfilling as the plan goes along, right? Maybe he's the exact same. Maybe he was originally, the entire plan was to save Superman. And when desperation happens, you're like, well, he talked to Val-El, and his mind was like, oh my God, wait a second. I can be that hero, but what if I become the better hero because now Superman's not in my limelight? He's an opportunist. He sees that there's an absence of something, and then he might as well like capitalize on it. It automatically came to him in that moment. I don't think it was always in his back pocket.
I don't think it was in his back pocket. I do think it's kind of a mixture of what you guys are saying, and on top of like clear insecurities that
Of course,
he's not going to
yeah.
be a superhero.
That would make more sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's just like trying whatever he can now, but it's like you left being such a jerk.
He left. Yeah. He
Yep.
I guess he kind of like gives up on being that hero then, right?
Yeah, and where
he's
did he
just
get
gonna
that
have to do
bottle of
what he-
alcohol?
Come from the bar.
It's
took
Valve.
it-
No, I'm kidding.
It's Chem's.
Oh yeah, it could
Maybe,
be
yeah.
Ken.
Kem had
That
some
would
great
make sense.
scenes too, so shout out Kem.
He's
I love
great.
him. He
He's-
let them all know
yeah.
what was going
Not
on.
gonna lie, I can see him biting the dust though. Just saying. If there's anyone that's
Clutch the
expendable, it's Kem.
pearls.
If there's anyone that's cannon fodder, I see is Kem.
Okay, well you can
I'm
say
sorry.
that
For
whack
predictions, yeah.
For predictions.
Yeah, sorry.
I
I'm
think
sorry.
that wraps up for this episode. Do you guys have any more on just like what happened in the episode?
No, I'm just still reeling on
Oh.
the fact that he wants to kill off Kim.
I wanna cover our ragtag team, our Seg team, pretty
Give
much.
it to us.
So our team now consists of Seg, Lyta, Nyssa, the triangle, pretty much. The love triangle. Jana, Kem, and Druzad.
Ooh.
Dun dun.
Yeah.
Rebel Alliance.
That's where we end the show with them.
It was the coolest lineup, though. That shot was one of my favorites when they're all sitting there with their guns.
Yes.
It's just the
Yes.
lineup of the eyes, and I'm like,
I agree. That was cool.
"Yes, that is so sick. It's like they're ready to go.
Yeah, watching
Yeah.
their plan just completely fail.
But
Yeah.
you know what? It was powerful for that
It was
moment.
powerful, and also powerful for Brainiac too, because he was on fire and it looked really cool.
And they needed to know the extent of like the manipulation and planning that they need to do. Like
That's
they
true.
really need to be 5 steps ahead, 10 steps ahead in order to be on the same
Yeah,
level
Seg,
as
Brainiac.
Mister, let's shoot him in front of everybody. I can't agree with that part.
I like
I also
feel
have-
stupid for thinking that was a great idea when he said it. I was like, yes,
Don't
of
feel
course.
stupid, but it's just like it's just how we think. I also have our baddies, our bad guys. So I'm saying now may be strange, and like in
I'm
this,
conflicted on
I
that.
know,
I think he's
I
only
am
going to be
too.
bad for 2 episodes.
We'll see,
he'll
but
come back.
definitely Brainiac and Devin. So Brainiac, the top dog, Devin, the little pup on his side that is willing to do everything
Yeah.
he needs him to go,
Yeah, he's
willing
like
to fetch.
Reek.
Yeah, he's like Reek. Yeah.
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 Okay, well now I'm excited to talk about our character corner.
Right.
with Anthony.
Let's do this.
Break down a comic book
feel like I need to
character
do this again
that's
for
featured
you.
in the show every
Hold
week.
Wow, that looks pretty cool.
It does.
All right, so we're doing we're definitely doing Doomsday. I just put the wrong title and it really confused me for a bit. No, we're doing Doomsday. So first appearance is Superman, the Man of Steel, number 18, November 1992, created by Dan Jurgens. And so his background is, which I thought was pretty cool and interesting. Originally known as the Ultimate, Doomsday was born in prehistoric times on Krypton, long before the humanoid Krypton race gained dominance over the planet about 250,000 years ago. It was a violent, hellish world where only the absolute strongest of creatures could survive. In a cruel experiment involving evolution intended to create the perfect living being, the alien scientist Bertrand released a humanoid infant and onto the surface of the planet, where he was promptly killed by the harsh environment. So, yeah, I was like, wow, that's really gruesome. No, it gets better, guys. So the baby's remains were collected and used to clone a stronger version. This process was repeated over and over again for decades to form an accelerated natural evolution. The agony of these repeated deaths was recorded in his genes, driving the creature to hate all life. I love Doomsday. This is a fantastic origin, and I would love to just see that happen. But
Yeah.
Another type. Known for the death of Superman. Oh, yeah. So check this out, guys. I actually have the comic. I didn't buy this. So my dad used to sell comics, used to sell books at the swamp meet. And he would buy just bargain bins,
Yeah.
And this was one of them that I found. I'm like, I'm taking this because this looks cool and I want to read it. And it's the death of Superman. So yeah,
Turn it around too. That's really cool.
yeah, it has all it kind of tells you the 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 issues that spans the death of Superman arc, with the last one being what happens, how it goes down. Y'all know how it goes down. But I thought it was really cool, and it's pretty much it's kind of what they play off of for Batman versus Superman in a sense, sort of. But yeah. So his superpowers are pretty cool. Doomsday has the invulnerability probably greater than that of a normal Kryptonian, as well as super strength, super speed, and incredible leaping ability. Because who doesn't have leaping ability? He also has numerous sharp bony protrusions, which can pierce Kryptonian skin. In Superman vs. Doomsday, the hunter/prey, he was shown to be able to shoot these bones at a target, then reel them back via some sort of tendon. Ugh. He can also
That's so
heal
gross.
great
That's so
wounds.
mean.
Very, yeah. One of his signature abilities is regeneration. When he is killed, he comes back to life, and he's resistant to whatever killed him, which I thought was really cool.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's crazy. Although Doomsday may be a biological Kryptonian, his powers do not seem to stem from the photonucleic effect, which is pretty much aren't induced by the exposure of the yellow sun, just like how Superman gets his powers from, and eventually Drew Zod as well. His incredible strength and resilience seems to have been evolved from Doomsday dying so many times and regenerating. And I thought this was cool. So Kryptonian sense. Doomsday has the ability to sense and locate anyone with Kryptonian genes in his vicinity.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then lastly is his reactive adaptation. Doomsday develops and adapts to immunity to any attack that harms him, a key component of his ability that he cannot die the same way twice. So in the comic, Superman beats him to death, and so I'm curious to see if he came back and how he died then. So there's a bunch of different iterations, mainly from like the animated lore, but the biggest one, the most recent one, was Batman versus Superman one. And so in 2015, Alexander Luthor Jr. acquired the corpse of the deceased General Drew Zod in the film, which was played by Michael Shannon, and access to the crashed scout ship, which was left over as a result of the battle for Metropolis. Luthor had the ship teach him about the Genesis Chamber, using General Zod's command keys as authority. He then brought Zod's body to the Genesis Chamber and placed it in the waters before cutting his hand and dropping his blood on Zod's face, before telling the ship to begin birthing. The ship warned him against it, as it was forbidden by the Council of Krypton, but Luthor made the ship do it anyways. Over the course of a number of hours, Zod's body begins to mutate into the forbidden creature from ancient Krypton within the waters of the Genesis Chamber. As Luthor watches on, Superman arrives shortly after, having not killed Batman, and as Luthor had planned, Doomsday's birth is complete, and he arose out of the waters to punch Luthor, who was saved by Superman. Superman attacks the creature, but grabs him and jumps in the ship and punches him into the distance. Pretty much that's when this fight ensues. Go watch the ending of Batman versus Superman to see the rest of how it all concludes.
Crazy.
I feel like I need to take a breath for you
Yeah,
there.
thank you for
Yeah.
that. Doomsday is a crazy character, and him and Brainiac together, it's just like an insane duo. I do want to say, I'm looking at the chat right now.
Yeah,
I think you guys
there's a couple
misunderstood. I think
With
Candace,
Strange.
yeah,
What
there's
happened?
a confusion with Adam Strange
I'm out of
because
the loop.
we've said
A lot of
that
people
he's
think that we're
a
turning
villain,
on him,
and he's not
a
a villain. What we're saying is that, what I think, tell me if you're
Yeah.
wrong, is that Adam is he's not using his emotions and his thoughts well. He's not being really he's not thinking full picture. Yes,
Right.
he wants to save Superman, which we all want, but at the end of the day, doesn't that make him a little bit selfish to not save people who are literally right in front of him? Like, he's okay with the fact that a genocide has to happen, essentially, and move forward. Like, yeah, he's not an evil character, but that's not great.
It's not heroic.
No, and I think at the end of the day, he has shown amazing qualities throughout the entire series, and I think that he will come back. Again, I just said he's an opportunist, meaning he is trying whatever way possible to make this work out right now. So I think that it will change eventually. Apparently people don't like that, but I apologize if I offended anyone. I'm just going off of what my predictions are for the show. With disregard of the canon, I apologize.
I do want to give you guys a few shout outs in the group chat. Ivan Soto, you're always a rock star. Jacob Albers,
Yeah.
I don't know, you have an accent, apostrophe in your
Jakob?
name. I like it. I just hope I'm not
Is
screaming.
it Jakob? I think maybe.
Oh, Jakob?
Maybe if it has an apostrophe.
Oh.
Xavier Jones.
Yes. Drew Malone, Mark
Are you guys doing
Bowyer.
fan shout-outs?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have your own fan shout-outs?
No,
I
I'm
do
just
have-
giving group chat shout outs.
group chat,
People
for
are
sure.
always with us weekly that we see you. We love when you're here. And I did get your message about being more involved in the group chat. We are trying our best.
Ivan.
But do you want to give us, Anthony, your fan shout outs?
Yeah, so from people who commented on us on our last episode on the comment section, I have some shout outs. Yeah. So Marv's Season, The Smoking Skull. Really like that Doomsday reveal and speculates that they could jettison Doomsday's containment pod to probably Earth, and maybe that's how that happens. Andrew Martin, as always, fantastic in-depth like little review that he gives us on the last episode. Tribe Master 07, yeah, he kind of like broke down the debate between Zod and Adam, and I really appreciate that. And he also didn't like how Zod talked smack on Superman to Seg's face. He's like, no, I would not let him, even if he is like a relative that I don't know about, I wouldn't let that happen.
Yeah,
I thought it was funny. So kudos to you, Tribe Master, and your pride for family. We have Slade the Deathstroke, well, cool name. Oh. Kenneth Sumida. So same dilemma as I, pretty much. He was like he wasn't sure who to trust between Zod and Adam. Like last episode, I was at a loss too. And he also says that Doomsday's pod could be used to launch towards Brainiac's ship. And I thought that's a great idea. Just have Doomsday just like wreak havoc on Brainiac's ship. That would have been a cool idea. And also we have Mark Boyer, Jay Snowden, Keith Avery, and Chaos13212 saying, knowing Doomsday's lore, he is on Adam Strange's side.
See, we all love Adam Strange.
Yeah. We love the guy. We just don't agree with how he's going about things, you know? Well, at least now we were just like, oh boy, okay.
Maybe not the smartest way, but it's fine.
He like straight up like turned his cap backwards. Like, all right, it's time to take care of business.
Okay, I think it's time for some predictions about next episode.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
That was great.
Thanks.
All right, who's up to bat?
Candace?
Sure. I mean, I think I've already said a lot of them within the whole show, but Kim's not going to die. Okay. It's my prediction. He's not.
Not next episode.
He's not going to die at all. And God, I don't even know really. I think that this team will be, it's going to have a lot of struggles because there's so many different strong personalities. It's like too many cooks in a kitchen. But I think at the end of the day, they will make a very big defeat on Brainiac. That's about all I got for you right now. With all I think I put all of the rest of them in there. I love Adam Strange. I think he will redeem himself. I'm just not happy with him right now.
We have to be honest. He wasn't
I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's okay
He made me a little angry.
It's okay to be.
And I don't think that Dev is dead.
Samesies?
I don't think he's dead. I think he's gonna come back. You can live without an arm. He just got knocked out. I'd get knocked out from pain too. You just cut off my whole arm.
You get knocked out, but you get up again?
Yeah, exactly.
9 times.
You gonna sing the song? Go. Hey, okay.
You were doing Cardi B. I was doing like the lame version of it. Anyways.
And then I think the love triangle is going to be very interesting too.
It's going to be a love square.
Love square.
But what if Seg is the father of two?
I thought you were going to say, what if Lyta and Nyssa become a thing?
Oh, wow.
Whoa. Then it really is a triangle. Ayo. Seg in the middle.
That's why Seg paused. That's why Seg paused. He knew that he has competition now.
They could come to an understanding. They could come to an understanding, an agreement to, be in this relationship.
Right
no. We're going. That's too far.
We're not doing this.
For the sake of Krypton and the sake of Superman.
Polygamy is a stretch.
You're talking about advanced civilization. Who doesn't care?
And they defy
doesn't
sex.
care what's
fine.
Whatever.
Give me your prediction.
I think I have a good argument for that, but that's fine. Okay. So yeah, I'll echo some that Candace did say. So I believe Dev is still alive. I don't think next episode, but further down the line, I think within this season, Cam will die. I'm sorry. And also, so I guess it was a big loss for them in a sense because they didn't really do much. They didn't really go through with the plan. But either way, it felt like a loss. It felt like they lost at the end of this episode because Brainiac has the people on his side. So I want to see
religious cult is strong. Like
yes.
when you get that
religion behind you, you win.
I want to see how they deal with this loss. I want to see if they're devastated, if they're like, all right, what's our next plan? What do we got to do? What's up? I also think we're going to see Strange do some things the next episode It's gonna go down. Oh snap! I can kind of see Adam kind of making some sort of deal with Brainiac too, because like in a sense they share the same goal. Brainiac needs to take Kandor in order for Superman to live in the future.
There's no deals with Brainiac though.
Sure, but like there's a something of a resemblance of a deal.
I like where your head's at, the obscurity. I just disagree.
No. That's fine. But like I think it's a possibility because it's all about like their motives are the same.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Adam has no one in his corner.
Yeah.
So like, who would he go to? The big dog himself. Also, I think something that we kind of like just briefly passed over. Daron said that his parents were followers of the Synthonites. Mm-hmm. It's possible, long stretch, but the main leader of the Synthonites, the Queen, possibly his mother, that's still alive. Who knows?
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe. I think the mention of that is important, and it will come up because we do have the Synthonites introduction of last episode.
We can see Nyssa, like maybe our ragtag team goes back to the catacombs, meet up with the Synthonites. Nyssa sees, or like the Queen sees Nyssa and sees some sort of striking resemblance.
Yeah.
Who's your father? His name is Daron-Vex.
Who's your
Maybe.
father?
You know?
I think I think
possibly.
like we've always mentioned, like every episode's gonna keep getting crazier. Like they warned us, and it has been already.
And this is the 8th episode next, so
Yeah.
it's usually like where things go
Savage
down.
We're at the
Times,
top.
I
Yeah.
believe it's called Savage Times or
Savage?
Savage something Savage. It's pretty
Savage.
That
Yeah.
sounds, I don't know, that sounds pretty Doomsday to me.
So I don't know. I think I agree with a lot of what you guys said. I think that we're gonna go back to Jana's original plan, which was go to Kryptonopolis, and I love how they keep mentioning Kryptonopolis. And
We might get to meet sisters.
yes, there will form a greater resistance.
Are you saying
team
they're
resistance?
gonna leave Krypton?
Yes,
Ooh,
they're leaving Krypton. It's already
That'd be
infected too
awesome.
much.
Yeah, I would love to see another city, please.
My questions to you guys before we wrap up is to write in the comments. Let us know, how do you think Seg and the Resistance group is going to destroy Brainiac? Will Doomsday be defrosted, and how? Will Strange, now that he has his Zeta beam, I feel like he could come back and bring someone from Earth. Like, we don't know. And then is one-armed Dev dead? Those are my questions.
The one-armed bandit.
Where can we follow you guys and find you guys after this?
I can't get over that. Is one-armed Dev dead? What's up, guys? Thanks so much for joining us again. My name is Candace Cruz. You can find me on all my social media at Candace R. Cruz.
Also, real quick, Ivan did bring up the red shard, which I thought was really cool.
Oh, of course, my bad. Those are really cool introductions.
Yeah.
Maybe possible character corner for that
Yeah.
next week. We'll see. But yeah, anyways, until next time, everybody. My name is Anthony Beccera. You can find me everywhere at Tony, the letter B, Tony _. Again, Tony B, Tony _. Thank you.
I'm Steph Sabraw. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Steph Sabraw. And like I said, there was so much in this episode, so I knew I would miss something. But we will see you guys next Sunday,
Yes.
4 p.m.
I'll be here.
And
I'll
then
be
what
here.
is your line? Stay super.
Stay super, y'all. Woo!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Stay super.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.